Thank you everybody for joining us today for this month at Active Pipe. I am Devin. I work in customer success here at Active Pipe. So today we were supposed to have a special guest, an agent, join us and interview them. And unfortunately, last minute, they did have to cancel, which is a little bit of a bummer. But I think all considering, we have a pretty exciting webinar today. We're going to be focusing on what top agents at ActivePipe are doing, and I'm going to show you some of the emails that they're sending. And then we also have a special guest here, Alina, who is incredible at building emails in ActivePipe. And I'll let you, Alina, introduce yourself a little bit and your story before you came to ActivePipe, if you don't mind.
Yeah, thanks, Devin. So before coming to ActivePipe, I was the digital marketing director for Vista Sotheby's in Los Angeles for about 2.5 years. Then I decided to get my license, started working as an agent myself, and then got invited to join the ActivePipe team at the beginning of this summer. So super excited to be here with all of you today and to kind of share what we've been seeing a lot of top agents in the industry sending out lately.
And I am so happy to have here and pick your brain about some of your suggestions for sending great emails. So thank you for being here, Alina.
Yes, of course.
Before I jump in and kind of start asking you some questions, two things that I should mention. One, if you all have questions throughout the presentation, please go ahead and put those in the Q&A. It's easier for me to respond if you put them in the Q&A than the chat. If you can't figure out the Q&A, it's fine. I will check the chat as well. But please do ask questions. I'd love for you guys to take advantage of Alina's expertise and get some questions in front of her as well. And then the other thing I wanted to show you, just to make sure everyone is aware of, is we actually post all of our webinars online. So I wanted to make sure that everyone knew how to get to those. If you just go to activepipe.com, you'll find under the resources section, this section called webinars. If you guys don't have the knowledge base bookmarked already, strongly encourage you to go there. We're constantly talking about tips and tricks to make it easier for you guys to send emails. So this is a great place to come and ask questions. But as far as webinars go, you can come here and then you'll have to make sure that you select the North America option since we're in the US. And then this is where you can actually come and register for all of the upcoming webinars. So this is the end of the month. We're going to be updating next month's tomorrow. So you can register here for all of those. And then any sessions that you missed that were recorded will all be here that you can find and watch. So just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware that this existed. Go ahead and bookmark it. I'm going to drop it in the chat so you guys all have access to it. And then you can go ahead and bookmark it. All right. So moving forward, I wanted to share some examples of what top agents at ActivePipe are doing with their emails. The first example I have is actually someone we've done a success story with at ActivePipe, Bob Pennypacker. And we had sent out a survey probably about a month or two ago now. And what we did is we just wanted to ask what agents could credit the emails that they're sending to how many houses they've sold, how many listings they've got. So Bob here, for the past year, he said that due to some of his email marketing with ActivePipe, he has sold at least 9 properties and had about at least 7 listings come from just sending emails in ActivePipe. And he says that he's generated about 40 new leads just from sending emails as well. So with that, I wanted to share some of the things that he's doing. So he tends to send out email listings on specific listings that he has, and it'll highlight like upcoming open houses or just the property itself. And what I think would be fun to do, Alina, since you're a little marketing expert, is if you wanted to highlight what you think he's doing really well here, that's like helping him, be successful with the emails that he's building. We could talk through that.
Yeah. First of all, like what I just noticed right away is that like right at the top of his e-flyer, it just has new listing open Sunday, July 18th, 1 to 3 p.m. And then has the big photo of the listing, which is good because you want to keep in mind most people like they're busy with their day. They're probably not going to spend a lot of time going through each email. So it's important to get to the point as quickly as you can with what you're trying to communicate in your e-flyer. And then also just to make them as visual based as possible, because obviously the human eye goes to the images first.
Mhm.
So I really think he's nailing it here. Go a little bit lower, has the address, the price, really short description. That's all people really need. Um, and then, yeah, the video link. So
Nice.
super quick, straight to the point. Um, yeah, and then their information at the bottom. I would also say it's probably a good idea. I'm sure those like link to their website, but to just pop in like your email address and phone number so that people have that written out in case they
Mhm.
quickly want to contact you. I would also add that in every time.
I love also, I get a lot of questions, Alina, on subjects, like the
Mhm.
subject lines. What do you think of this one? Would you have any tips and tricks for that?
I think he does a pretty good job with that one. Open house Sunday lets people know right away and then has the location of the property.
I can highlight some
I'll
of
see
them.
people once in a while if there's something really big that they want to talk about with the property, like 180-degree ocean view, brand new to market, just those little buzzwords that are going to stick with people and kind of encourage them to open up the email a little bit more than they otherwise would.
I like the brand new to market. I haven't heard that one. That's a good.
Yeah.
Um, I like this one, the new price too. So this one had a price reduction. So I think highlighting that right away instead of just saying price reduction, new price is a little bit more exciting and enticing. Um,
Or I see price improvement a lot of the time too. That's something I'll always suggest to agents. I think it just sounds a little bit more positive than saying reduction, you know?
Agreed. Yeah.
Oh, there's an improvement. I should get in there and make an offer.
Yes, exactly. Love it. Awesome. Okay, so that one was from Bob. I'm checking the chat and we don't have any questions. So I'm going to move on to another example that we have. This one I thought would be exciting to show you, and let me just make sure. Okay, cool. Can you see my screen, Alina?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I get Rick's emails, who's I'm going to show you some of his. And the one thing that he does, I think, really well, it's actually not as much about the email itself. He and his team take a lot of pride and they spend a lot of time doing this, building out really beautiful videos displaying the property. They're very long, and I personally love every morning when I get an email from him, having my coffee and looking at these properties because they're so beautiful. So I just wanted to highlight this one because it's not as much about the email itself. It's about what he's trying to show you in the email. Like Alina said, getting this right in your face so it draws your eye right away. I think.
Even in this example, I would even just suggest if you would add like one more like big photo at the top. So that's the first thing that people see when they open the email.
Mhm.
I think that would be really great too. And even here, I'm seeing they have a lot of text in this email, which is fine.
Mhm.
But I've found that even if you just try to split up the copy into more sort of bite-sized type of paragraphs,
Yes.
it's going to be a lot better with encouraging people to actually read what you have there. Like
Yeah.
if any of you see in newspapers, the newspapers don't ever have super long paragraphs. They break them up because that they know that it's more appealing and easier for the human eye to read things if they're in, again, those shorter bite-sized type of paragraphs. So that's just one thing I would think of as you guys are building your own e-flyers.
That's a really great call out, Alina, especially because so many people are opening emails on their phone these days. So something that I always recommend to my agents to do is view this before you send it out. Don't only send yourself a copy of the email, but actually see what it's going to look like when someone opens it on their phone. And you can see right here, this is a great example. This is going to be much longer to read on your phone. So if it's the video he's highlighting, it should be kind of, right in your face, the first thing that you see, and then the text can come, and you can always trim down the text, that kind of thing. But always a good idea before sending out an email, checking what it's going to look like if someone opens it up on their mobile. Let's see, it looks like we may have a question. Let's see, new to the office for us newbies is, what is the first thing we need to do? Where do I add contacts? Veronica, I'm happy to help get to that at the end of this presentation since I'm sure we're going to have plenty of time. So I will get back to you. And there's also some really great webinars that I can point you to that show you how to do all of that. But yes, stay on and I will help you at the end. Okay, moving on. I wanted to share another example. Let's see. So some of the examples I'm about to show you all are actually emails that Alina has helped other agents build. So Alina, I'm probably going to just pass it over to you and kind of have you talk through your thought process
Yeah.
on building these. This one is in Tara's account. Is there an email that you wanted to highlight in here? Maybe the Vista Visions?
Yeah, let's just pull up the Vista Vision. So this Vista Vision is the monthly newsletter that our brokerage Vista Sotheby's puts together for the agents to have the option to send out. So you can see here, number one, she replaced just the generic header that we had and added in her photo into it. So number one gets that personalization in. This is our brokerage, again, puts together this text for agents, but I know a lot that will go in, maybe edit some sentences or words to make it sound a little bit more like themselves. So you'll see here the generic kind of makeup I say for all of the newsletters is you want some kind of header image or something that keeps it consistent, whether that's the name that people know each month that's coming from you, some type of greeting, salutation to say hello, your market statistics, listing information, and then any other type of extra information that you think is pertinent to add for that month or for that specific newsletter. So you can see here each month, there's some type of statistics that we put in, whether that's average days on market, recently sold over list price percentages, something like that. And I also suggest that it's good to maybe switch up the type of statistics that you're sending each month, just so you're mixing it up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna just pull up one more and see what those ones look like. Okay, cool. So pretty consistent. It sounds like that is an important thing to have, is like not changing it up too much month to month so that they know what they're expecting, right?
Yeah, exactly. Don't feel like you have to totally reinvent the wheel every month. Most of the time, what I'll do if I'm helping an agent put together a monthly newsletter, I'll just exactly duplicate what we sent out the month before and then update to the current month's information. So you can actually keep scrolling through with this newsletter. So you'll see here we added in a monthly market report for people to see. And then the Vista newsletter also includes a couple of graphics that lead to online articles for people to look through each month.
Awesome.
So
Personally,
again,
I'm a
it's
sucker
just
for the
making
articles.
sure that you're being consistent, I think would say is the number one big thing. And that you're also delivering some type of fun and valuable content at the same time. I see a lot of agents that will, again, just send out statistics all the time. I think it's really important if maybe you want to just send out a recipe for people to try out. If you have back to school tips, if you have kids and you have a lot of clients that also have kids, helping them out that way, the more that you're able to connect with people on that emotional level, the way more valuable your emails are going to be to them, the more likely that they're going to open them, and the more likely that they're going to reach out to you and be referring you to all of their friends and family.
Totally agree. I actually hear from a lot of agents that the most successful emails that they have aren't even the ones that have listings in them necessarily. They are the ones where they're like a holiday newsletter, sending them their favorite recipes or drink ideas, that
Yeah,
kind of thing.
absolutely. I think the most effective marketing techniques I've seen agents use is when they focus on having like the main topic of a newsletter be something that may not even be related to real estate. And then at the bottom, slip in your market statistics, maybe a new listing that you have coming up, and then your contact information. Like people generally should know that you're working in real estate and that you're a real estate agent. So I always say you don't really need to hit them over the head with that every month. Give them something that they really want to know and that they're interested in.
Totally. I completely agree. And something good to point out is we actually in this, here, I'll show this one too. But where I showed you where all these recordings live, We actually have a couple on newsletter examples. So creating a newsletter in under 30 minutes. This is a great one for you all to come back to. Helps highlight everything that Alina just said, the important things to include in a newsletter, and shows you how easy to do it. And then there's also one, maybe like a couple pages back, that we did last year, and we are doing it again this year, but we're going to highlight the best holiday newsletters that we've seen and walk you guys through how to build a holiday newsletter. So definitely encourage you guys to join that session. And again, we'll be sending out that email this week highlighting that. This was a newsletter I saw. I didn't know, Alina, if you wanted to speak to this at all. It kind of touches on everything that you had just mentioned. So I thought I would at least show it quickly.
Yeah, again, so I told you all before we showed you an example of the monthly newsletter that the Vista Sotheby's brokerage puts together and allows their agents to send out. But a lot of agents also choose to send out their own custom newsletter, like in this example. So if you can quickly scroll back up to the top, Devin,
Oh, sorry.
like you can see in this one, these agents choose to switch out their header photo every month. So if you're going to do that, I think it's really important to have some kind of a catchy name or something that people know that it's specific to you. So they have What's New in LA from RNA, since this agent's team is Robin and Alicia. And then they just will send out
Sorry.
some articles that they think their clients might find interesting. And then as you continue to scroll through, they will show their listing activity.
Yeah, I love this. I think, a lot of people ask like what they should be putting in newsletters. I think the most important top three things, and Alina, just curious to hear what you think. I think having one type of article or blog that highlights something fun to do in the area, or things that are happening in the community that they're in, or even if it's just talking about the sales of houses in that area. And then I think highlighting the market reports, and then closing it up with some of their listings that they've sold or listings that they currently have is a great starting point. Just those three things.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And again, just to point out again, to always make sure you're delivering some type of valuable content. And the more personal that you can make it to who you are as an agent and like what you believe represents your branding, the better it's going to be and the more it's going to resonate with your clients.
Totally agree. Yep.
So
Awesome.
you'll see, like in this example, these clients, they're located in Manhattan Beach, California. So in their top header image, that's a photo of the Manhattan Beach Pier. And then a little bit lower down, this was an email from May. And they included a local article about the outdoor dining restaurants staying open until after Labor Day.
Oh, so September then, not May.
What was that?
I think September is
I
Labor
think
Day.
they were just saying that
Oh, I
the
got you.
extended, yeah.
Yes. Got you. Yeah, my bad. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I love this. This is a great example of a newsletter. Let's see if I have any more to go over. And then I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit more. Oh, yep. The last one I wanted to show was Gary. I'm doing my best not to be redundant with the examples I'm showing. So apologies if you all feel like you've seen plenty of listings, but these really are the most popular, sending out the listings that the agents have. And again, Alina, if you just want to highlight, like the most important part is highlighting what type of listing it is, that it's new, and then the images are really I think the key thing. Correct?
Yeah, again, so the best marketing advice that I'm going to share with you all today that I ever received was tell the person that you're trying to market to exactly what you want them to know, and then don't say anything else. And again, I think that's where agents get tripped up a lot of the time, is where they just try to cram everything about a specific property or everything that they have to share into one email. When you really don't have to do that, especially like since ActivePipe makes it so easy to quickly link these e-flyers to your webpage where you have all of the property information. So I say make these as image-based as possible, because that's what's really going to strike people the most. It's what they're
Yeah,
going to
the
pay the most
images
attention
speak for themselves.
And then like you'll see here, we're just giving the bare minimum information, just listed, a quick type of headline. the address, price. If you want to put in the Bed Bath square footage, it's great too. And then a super short description, because more likely the shorter that it is, the more people that are going to read it. And then if someone's interested, they are going to reach out to you, or they are going to click that link for more information.
Yeah. And
And at
again,
the bottom,
just,
quick call to action,
yes.
headshot, contact information.
Yep. Totally agree. And just like Alina was saying, I mean, you don't need to be detailed in your email. If someone wants that property, they will tell you they want it by going and clicking in on this button to get more details, or they will contact you directly. And some things, in case some of the people don't know, all of the cool things that ActivePipe can do, is you can actually have a campaign set up that says once this email for this listing goes out, if someone clicks on maybe just like this button, or if they click on the property or anything related to the property, you can actually have an automated follow-up email that goes out and says, hey, saw you clicked on this property, let's schedule a tour. So we can automate all of that for you. So the less you put in, I think the better. The images here really do speak for themselves. And as far as following up with the people that are interested, we can automate that for you, which is really cool. So yeah, those are some of the examples that we have today. Other things I just wanted to kind of ask you, Alina, is I'm super curious. I get this question all the time, so I would love your opinion.
Yeah.
When do you think is the best time to send out emails?
I would say the best time is early in the morning, or if you can't get something out, then around noontime. You really want to make sure that people are going to be like sitting at their desk in front of their computer, paying attention when they receive this content. If you start sending out emails like later in the afternoon, like around 5, 6 o'clock, people are going home, they're done winding up their day. They're more likely, I think, just to delete the emails at that point. So I'd say the best times I've seen are between like 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. For example, I'm on the West Coast, so I really like to have emails go out at 9 a.m. since I know it's usually somewhere early in the morning where people are maybe starting their days. But then it gets people on the East Coast at noon, where they're likely either going to lunch or they're going to get that email once they return. So yeah, in a nutshell, early in the morning or noontime.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the cool thing about ActivePipe is we give you reporting on your open rates for every email that you send out. So if you're thinking, oh, I sent out this email at 2 p.m. and my open rate was much lower than the time that I sent it at 8 a.m., use that information to your advantage. Go ahead and test and experiment with the best times for your contacts opening. It could be different. You could be a California agent trying to email people on the East Coast to get them to move to the West Coast. So that timing is going to be a little different, that kind of thing. So there's just a lot of variables. And I think the reporting in ActivePipe, as far as open rates and interactions, can help make that decision for you a little bit easier. Gosh, I'm trying to think. The last thing I really wanted to highlight was that not only is Alina incredible at marketing for her brokerage, but we have actually hired her onto our ActivePipe team. Hopefully all of you guys on this call have now heard about ActivePipe Nurture, one of our newest offerings. We are able to offer that because of our incredible Alina here. So I did want to highlight quickly what that looks like. So what Alina has done is actually created a bunch of pre-built nurture campaigns for us to share with you all. She has, gosh, I don't even know how many of you created, like over 20, right, Alina?
I think we have 22 at this point.
Yeah.
We're aiming for 25 total in the library.
That's awesome. So we have a library of email campaigns that Alina has built out. As you can see, they're kind of categorized for different parts of the buyer or selling journey. We've got one specific to first-time home buyers. We've got one specific to investors. There's even some down here. I think one of my favorite ones that you've built is the one about, let me see, where it is it? The home maintenance and sale preparation tips. I love this because I remember when I was selling my home, I was like, where do I begin? I need a checklist. What should I do to make my home ready to sell? So this was a really cool checklist for you guys as agents to send out to your contacts and be that hand holding through that process. So if you guys are interested in this, message our support team and we are happy to walk you through everything that Alina has built out for us.
Yeah. And again, I just want to point out to everyone, these are built so that they are totally ready to send out. All the graphics are there, all of the text is there. They will work totally fine if you are like, okay, set this up, ready to go. But at the same time, they are all completely customizable. So if you want to change any of the text to sound more like yourself, or you have any of your own graphics, either that you've made or from your brokerage that you'd prefer to slip in, you have the ability to do that also. And actually, I definitely highly suggest always making, no matter what e-flyer you get, whether it's something that you get from us or that your brokerage has put together for you, as much as you're able to customize it and make it your own, the better.
Totally agree. Awesome. Well, Alina, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. I certainly appreciate having you so last minute.
Yeah, of course. Do we have any questions from anyone? Whether about building campaigns, nurture. Oh, I think Devin, you were going to quickly go through maybe how to add contacts.
Yes, I am going to do that. I didn't want to have to keep you. You're totally cool to go, Alina, if you'd like. We don't have any questions because you did such an amazing job, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Alina. I really appreciate having you, and I definitely learned some new tips and tricks. So I'm sure everyone else feels the same way.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Okay, so going back, let's see, I think it was Veronica and Dinka. It sounds like you guys needed some help adding contacts. So the first thing that's worth mentioning, and if you guys are both still on this call, if you don't mind answering in the chat, are you guys using a CRM at all? If you're not using a CRM. Okay, awesome. So the important thing to know is wherever your contacts are, they will need to be pulled into a CSV file. So essentially a spreadsheet. We'll need them to be pulled into a spreadsheet. If you have all of your contacts, like maybe in Gmail, something, and I can show you really quickly what that looks like. I don't have any contacts, but you can go to your contacts in Gmail by going to Google and then contacts. And then what you can do is you just need to select one, and then you have the ability to select all. And then you can click on these three dots and then you can export. So that will export them into an Excel spreadsheet. And then once you have that spreadsheet, all you really need to do, and this is super important. The main thing that we need is the email address. You don't have to have their first name, last name. You don't have to have any of that information. Of course, it would be better if you did, because we are able to personalize emails. So we can actually auto fill in their first name and say, hi, Devin, or hi, Taylor, or hi, Dinka. So it is a good idea to have the first name, but if you don't, that is okay. We really just need the email addresses. Other things to know is every bit of information you have does need to be in its own column. So if you do have first name and last name, separate those. This doesn't need to be in any particular order. So you could have email first. I just have it set up this way, and I do have it labeled just because I think it's easier to read that way, but you don't have to. And then the last thing that's really important to let you know about is the tagging. So tags are our way of organizing contacts. It's essentially categorizing what type of contact it is. So maybe you have a potential buyer. That would be a good tag for them, buyer. So that way, when you're sending out emails of all of your latest listings, you're sending it to buyers. Where if you're sending like sold reports, or maybe you're trying to get someone to list with you, you would want to send that type of email to sellers. We also recommend having a tag. I've seen it also called sphere of influence. So pretty much every contact will have that tag. So these are the type of people that you want to send newsletter to, or holiday emails, or you're okay with sending this to every contact that you have. So I always just use newsletter. I've also seen sphere of influence, that. So there's lots of options. It's totally up to you and what your preferences are. You'll see that I have 2 columns for tags. This makes it a little bit easier because, for example, you could have someone that is a buyer, but you also want them to get a newsletter, and it will be much easier for you to tag everyone at once if you have 2 columns. So I recommend having multiple columns. You can have as many tags as you want for someone. So if you need to enter another column, you can call it tag, and maybe you call this person, I don't know, their zip code that they live in. So you only want to send them listings in that zip code or something like that. So you can have as many tags as you want. But I would generally say the most popular ones I see are buyer, seller, newsletter, and then if you have local agents, I've seen that one too, just agent or broker, that kind of thing. Any questions on that, my friends, before I move on? Is this part pretty clear? Okay. The only thing that is worth mentioning is we also have the ability to pull in all of the buyer preferences. So you'll see here, like if you have their address, you can put that information in. It does need to be broken up. So it'll be like 7 Highview, and then the city would be Austin. So you do need to have it broken up by column. We can also do buyer preferences. So you can say, you know, Devin only wants no less than 2 bedrooms or something like that. So that would be information. You can also put in price min, price max. And all of this information will pull in with your contacts. So once you have that all set up, you just need to go to download. If you're using Google Sheets, if you're using Excel, Microsoft Excel, it's save as. So it's save as CSV, comma separated values. And then we're going to go into our ActivePipe account. So once you're in ActivePipe, you'll have a section over here called contacts. You'll need to go there. And then there's going to be a green button that says add contacts. We're going to import them. But if you guys ever do have contacts in the future where you just need to add them one by one, you can do it really easily just by adding them one like this, and then you add the tag down here. But we are going to import contacts because I'm assuming you guys are going to probably have a good amount if you're exporting from email. We'll drag this in, or you can search your computer for the document. And this part is the most important part right here, is matching. So you'll see when I had all of these columns right here, ActivePipe tries to guess and confirm that those are what the labels are so that we pull in the information correctly. So we need to make sure that it's matched. So first name is good, last name is good, email is good. You'll see here, it didn't pull in anything for tags. That's pretty common. So we'll need to go to import as tags for all of them. So you'll need to make sure that's matched correctly. So we actually pull in the tags. And then down here, this was all good. And then preferences, this one actually matched correctly. So it pulled in the bedroom min, bedroom max, price min, price max. There's lots of options for the preferences, by the way. So you could do like lot size preferences, parking preferences, bathroom, zoning type. So if you have all of that information, the more the merrier. And then once those are matched correctly, you can click continue. If there's something that our system doesn't have, like for example, like birthday, and you're like, you know what, it's fine, I don't need the birthday information, it's best to just do ignore, but you can actually add a custom field that says birthday. So that it's an option. But if you don't need the information that it's pulling in, I've seen some like weird things exported, you can just do ignore, and that just tells our system, you know, we don't need that information. Go on without it. So then we'll click continue. It's saying we do have that information, so I'm gonna fix it. Bedroom. Oh, here we go. Just ignore both. What am I doing wrong? Choose to ignore, sorry. All right. And then once you get to this next step, you'll see that those tags came in. Always good to check that. And then you click finish importing. And that is it. And then all of your contacts are going to show up in your contact list. Quick little overview of this is these are the total amount of contacts you have in your account. These are all the contacts that are subscribed to your emails. Once you start sending out emails, you may have people that unsubscribe. So this is good to check who's unsubscribing. And then these are contacts that have like invalid email addresses. Veronica, answering your question. So my recommendation to you is totally use this, and I'm going to send it to you right now, the knowledge base. You can literally ask any question in here and it will have an article and or a video that walks you through how to do that. So I would say definitely use the knowledge base. It has step-by-step instructions for you. I am just going to share this right here. And then I also have a video that will really help you. So give me 1 second and I will get that for you as well. It's called ActivePipe 101. And I think it'll be really helpful for you. And then also, Veronica, I definitely would recommend coming to our future webinars because we're always going to be here to help you. We do about 1 a week. So I hopefully will see you at some of the next ones. I just put in the chat that it says activepipe.uwebinar.com, that one. That is going to be a great resource for you getting started with ActivePipe. All right. Well, that is all I had for today. I really appreciate everybody that joined, and I'm so sorry that we didn't get to have our guest agent, but I really had a great time with Alina being here, giving her tips and tricks for creating beautiful emails, and hopefully I will see you all at our next team app, and have a sparkling day. Thank you.